place to be, where art, life, and spirituality connects you and me. Science of mind and spirit, the foundation we teach and live. Love, joy, and belonging are the gifts we have to give. Our consciousness, our being, open at the bottom, open at the top. We're not simply one with God, but we are it itself. It will never stop. SIA, our spiritual center, family and home. It's where we come to practice and remember there is only one life, one mind, one infinite, eternal, self-existent. 'Cause we pause, embodying all that we are. We shine like a glorious star. Our consciousness, our being, open at the bottom, open at the top. We're not simply one with God, but we are it itself. It will never stop. SIA, our spiritual center, family and home. It's where we come to practice and remember there is only one. Spirituality is our way of life. We value laughter, truth, and justice. We express artistry as our living practice. So come and join us at SIA. Know you found a community that will love you every day.
Namaste, greetings and blessings, and welcome to the Center for Spiritually Integrated Arts. This is our Sunday message, and I am Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson, the founder and spiritual director of this center. And I invite you to watch not only this Sunday message, but any of our archived messages. I invite you to join any classes or events that we have going on. I invite you to reach out and email if you have any questions. Questions about this community, questions about me, questions about what we do, or questions about this science of mind and spirit, liberation theology that we practice and teach. And if by chance you find yourself seeking beloved community with other like-minded beings, even if you already belong, are a member of another community, church, or center, you are more than free to have multiple affiliations wherever you are fed and find community. You are invited. And lastly, feel free to click like, subscribe, and share this or any other message or announcements with others in your circle. And with that, much appreciation, love, and blessings. Enjoy the message.
SIA is the place to be. So buckle up, we're making history. And if you are willing, repeat after me. I am love. I am love. it right. One more time. I am love. I am victorious. I am divine. Amen. Yes, you are. Amen. Yes, you are. Now today's message begins.
Namaste and greetings. Welcome to one of the most difficult weeks because I know that we are speaking about a very bad word today, a word that many people truly despise. That word being vulnerable. I'm not even going to say it. I cannot bring myself to say it. But yes, today we are talking about the path of vulnerability and how it impacts the way that we show up as transformative beings on this planet. Sometimes the greatest act of spiritual courage is to simply just show up exactly as we are. Just show up. Breathe. So let us enter into this sacred space where we acknowledge that vulnerability is not a weakness, but it is a bridge toward that which is most authentic, most true, and the most real. What aspects of ourselves, what aspect of myself am I still hiding rather than sharing? What aspect of ourselves are we protecting when we don't need to protect? What aspects of ourselves are we denying rather than accepting? And what power and what possibilities could be revealed and expressed if we offered ourselves to the world honestly, humbly, and wholly as love? Breathe. So when we talk about this idea of being vulnerable, there are all kinds of ways we use it. And yes, some of them do in fact have to do with threats and risks and things that we don't want. Yes, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Once again, linguistic convenience. So it's not necessarily about vulnerability is bad. We should never be vulnerable. No, it's understanding the life-affirming times and ways and the non-life affirming times and ways. Fear and faith are identical in that the energy used in one is the exact same energy that is used in the other. Since there is but one final energy in, through, and as the universe, and this final energy is the energy of thought. There is only one mind. That mind is God. Fear is as Dr. Holmes is using it, fear is a positive acceptance that you shall experience that which you dislike. Faith is a positive acceptance that you shall experience that which you do like. But they are identical in this mental action. The only difference is in the direction of the energy. Keeping in mind that there is life-affirming fear. So what he is referring to is how non-life-affirming fear attracts and impacts and influences our lives in ways that we do not like. Whereas life-affirming faith does the opposite. So once again, this idea of being vulnerable has to do with understanding and discerning. When am I of vulnerability as fragile, handled with care, easily damaged, easily broken? I don't want to be hurt. Versus saying, well, can I handle it with care? Can I approach whatever this vulnerability thing is gently? Fragile, an object that is easily damaged or broken. Regarding a person, someone who is not strong or sturdy, someone who is delicate and quote unquote vulnerable. Synonyms: breakable, flimsy, frail, delicate, brittle, and weak. There, many of us identify vulnerability as a weakness. If I'm vulnerable, I'm weak. And our culture and our society vilifies weakness. Only the strong survive. Survival of the fittest, etc. We don't want the label of being weak in any shape or form assigned to us. So when it comes to being open and honest, transparent, vulnerable, we fight it like the plague. What is war? Fear. What is hatred? Fear. What is intolerance? Fear. Fear of what? Of the world we live in and of this anthropomorphic God that punishes. Fear arising partly out of the past and partly out of contemplation of the future. Because the past is largely molding the consciousness of today. What are we afraid of? We're afraid of pain. We're afraid of being hurt. We're afraid of death. We're afraid of suffering. And I can guarantee you that no matter what it is, racism connects to, yes, it cycles through hatred, but fear. Fear of what? Fear of being replaced. Fear of being hurt or harmed the way your ancestors hurt and harmed my ancestors. There's a subconscious fear of, well, what happens if I become a minority? That African Americans have suffered, the way that women have suffered. Fear. War. Well, wait. You said they have how many weapons of mass destruction? They've got 10. Then we need 20. Boop. Please pause for a brief commercial announcement. It only takes 5 weapons of mass destruction to destroy the entire planet and all life on it. Why would anyone want to quadruple the number of those when 5 is enough for a global extinction event, and you want there to be 20 that you have and 10 that they have, that now makes 30. Remember, it only takes 5 for global extinction. What drives that? Fear. Road rage, fear. Hate crimes, fear. Greed, fear. Corruption, fear. Fear. And based on what we're talking about today, it connects very easily to the fear of being vulnerable. We would love to wrap our children in bubble wrap and protect them. We would love to wrap ourselves in bubble wrap and wait. To a certain degree, we do. It's an invisible bubble wrap, but we do, in certain ways, surround ourselves with a blanket of protection so that others can't get close to us, so that others can't truly know us, so that others cannot hurt or harm us. To grow up is to accept vulnerability and to be alive. Note, she didn't say to live. To be alive is to be vulnerable. Are we willing to truly be alive, not just live? And are we willing to grow, to evolve? Then are we willing to be vulnerable in order to do so? Now, just for the sake of conversation, there are many things that connect to vulnerability. Vulnerability as a definition, the state of being exposed to the possibility of harm, whether it's emotional, physical, economic, environmental, or social. So it's important for each of us to sit down and say, do I dislike vulnerability? Do I dislike being vulnerable? Are there certain areas that I really dislike? Can I identify them? If I can identify them, then I can apply effective change to them. If I don't know that I'm afraid of economic vulnerability, and that is what's driving me to embezzle money from the corporation where I'm the vice president, yeah, we have to identify it. So I have to identify, am I afraid of social vulnerability? Is that one of the reasons why I have anxiety when I am in a crowded space? It's too many people. I can't keep my eye on all these people. Is that why? Can I identify it? If I can identify it, then I can work on changing it. And as we work on changing it, then certain benefits come about. As it relates to relationships, vulnerability in relationships creates a closer bond. Emotional walls are taken down. Honesty is invited into the space. Greater open communication and authenticity. Embracing vulnerability is about acknowledging your feelings, staying present, setting boundaries, and more. There are all kinds of ways we can talk about what does it mean to be vulnerable? What does it mean to embrace vulnerability? What are the benefits? And if we really look at the benefits, I mean really look at them, don't just scan over. Really, so what is, if I apply this to my life, for example, benefits of being more vulnerable in life: boosts emotional intelligence, one's EQ. Do I know how emotionally intelligent I am now? If not, let me start there. If I have low or mid emotional intelligence, well, you said being vulnerable boosts it, increases it. So what do I need to do? What do I need to do as it relates to vulnerability and how it will boost my emotional intelligence? And how does a boosted emotional intelligence then benefit me? How does it make my life better? Well, one way, the very next, it enhances your self-expression. People who have higher emotional intelligence also have higher forms of self-expression. So all of these interweave and intermingle and intermix, but we have to be willing to take a chance. Vulnerability is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, empathy, and creativity. It is the source of hope, empathy, accountability, and authenticity. So when we are not being vulnerable, we are denying all of these aspects to some degree. We are denying ourselves joy. We are denying ourselves hope. We are denying ourselves authenticity and creativity and belonging. So when we embrace vulnerability, what does it mean? It means accepting our imperfections. It means having gratitude, asking for help, acknowledging mistakes. It means being transparent, accepting and welcoming feedback, being able to share a personal story. Are these things that we can, that you can, that I can readily do? Do I express self-compassion? If not, then it's a sign that I am not being as vulnerable as I could be. Do I have curiosity? Am I transparent? Am I humble? Do I ask for help? Do I say I don't know when I don't know? Do I have clear boundaries? Vulnerability sounds like truth and feels like courage. Truth and courage aren't always comfortable, but they are never weakness. Truth and courage, not always comfortable, but never weakness. Therefore, vulnerability, as it sounds like truth and feels like courage, is not weakness. Just simply more ways of identifying. Do I know how vulnerable? Do I know when I resist being vulnerable? Do I? Mm, 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 mm. I resist most of these then. Mm. Then there's the invitation. Especially when if we reach a space of willingly and comfortably being uncomfortable in our vulnerability, and now we are in conversation or relationship or whatever with someone else who they have all their walls up, they have an electric fence, they have barbed wire, they have alligators, a moat, and piranha. They even got zombies tied to the gate to keep everything and everybody away. I can identify what's going on with them. They're resisting being vulnerable. They're afraid of being hurt. That's why they have so much protection. So how do I approach them? Well, one, I've got to get them to trust me. because I need them to turn the electricity on the gate off and lower the drawbridge and open the. But my first thing is I recognize it. So whether it's in dealing with politicians, in dealing with bullies at work, the neighborhood, whatever it is, the racist, the sexist, fear, it's vulnerability. I can identify the dis-ease. And if it is mine to treat, I am now much more capable of doing so because I know what is going on. And if it's not mine, then that too is fine. I can identify it and say, you know what, this isn't mine to do. And I can move myself away from any hurt or harm that they are causing. Being vulnerable is the only way. Oh, did she really just go there? Being vulnerable is the only way to allow your heart to feel true pleasure. If we are not being vulnerable and we experience pleasure, however it is we are experiencing it, according to Bob Marley, we are only experiencing it to a certain degree. Because we cannot get to the true pleasure if we are not being vulnerable. So we may experience some, a 10, a 30, but we could 100. But we have to be vulnerable to allow our heart to feel true pleasure. Conscious vulnerability is your superpower. When you are vulnerable consciously, because we are not supposed to, just run around telling everybody, look, I'm exposed. Did you know that my ATM number is, or my social security number is, or did you know that if you come to my house and you enter the code, you will immediately get in, and all of my money is in the dining room, stuffed in the sofa. And I don't know where there's a sofa in the dining room though, but no, we don't do that. That would be ridiculous. We don't even open to every single person. I don't know you. I am not sitting down and having an intimate conversation with you about, no, I don't know you. But if my walls are always up, then even with the people I know, the people closest to me, I'm still not being vulnerable with them. So I consciously choose, take that wall down, let them in. Take that wall down and let them in. Talk to them through the window. Okay, just come around, door is open. Consciously. It takes practice, but it is possible. We think in the realm of the absolute in such degree as we withdraw our thought from thinking in terms of the relative. All ideas are formed in the present, since there is neither past nor future to reality. Thus, we must picture our desires as already created. So whatever it is we desire to create, be in the now regarding it, not the woulda, coulda, shoulda, not the anxiety about or the worries about tomorrow, right here and right now. Keep that in mind. Now, how does that apply to vulnerability? We have to be vulnerable in order to risk having the life that we desire, even in the now. Am I willing to risk? Well, that means telling somebody. It means telling Tracy what I want for my birthday, knowing she's probably not going, she might not get it, not probably not. See, there you go. She might not get it. Am I willing to risk the rejection of not getting what I want? Oh, that person is really attractive, but if I go over there and say something to him, he might say no. He might not be interested. I'm not gonna risk it. Oh, so now there's regret. Oh, I wish I had said, if only I had. Okay, wait. Vulnerability to manifest and create in the now. People often silence themselves or agree to disagree without fully exploring the actual nature of the disagreement, all for the sake of protecting a relationship and maintaining a connection. But when we avoid certain conversations and never fully learn how the other person feels about the issues, we sometimes end up making assumptions. We craft stories about that not only perpetuate, but deepen the misunderstandings, and that can generate resentment and bitterness and cruelty and animosity and more. Now, what does this look like? Well, it can look like two siblings, politics, sexual orientation, whatever there is a disagreement about. And we simply say, you know what? We'll just have to agree to disagree because our relationship is more important. So rather than dive in, we'll just agree to disagree. But if you can actually heal the rift, then go deep. Like, what are you actually disagreeing about? Like, what's really there? Is there a fear? Well, there's a fear if we're avoiding having a courageous conversation, a difficult conversation. So rather than simply be mystified by the matrix, where once again we are missing the truth, we refuse to investigate. There are meaningful moments right here, but we agree to disagree, so we're missing the moments. Rather than doing that, how about we do something new? How about we take the matrix and make it mean moving around through reality in exile? When we do this, we are exiling ourselves. We are separating ourselves. So I thought we were agreeing to disagree to keep the connection, but now you're telling me that all we're doing is moving around in reality, but we're exiling each other and ourselves. Damn. Is that what you want? Is that what we want? Is that what creates a world that works for all? Being in exile. How about we master the matrix, which means we are trusting? Because if we are going to master the matrix, which means we understand when we are exiling another or self, we understand when we are missing moments, meaningful moments, we understand, we see it, we recognize it, which means we can make a different choice. In order to master the matrix, we must trust. Okay, what are we trusting? One, trust that you are the one. You are omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience itself. You are the divine incarnating itself. First place requiring trust is trust yourself. Do you fully trust you? Do you trust yourself as a father, a mother, a parent? Do you trust yourself as a brother, a sister, a sibling? Do you trust yourself as a minister, a practitioner, a chaplain, a congregant, a member, a citizen of the country, a citizen of the planet? Do you trust yourself as a human being? Do you trust yourself as the divine? You are the one. You are omni, all of the omnis. P2S. That almost sounds like PlayStation 2. P2S, right? Omnipresence, omnipotence, those two P's, and then the S, omniscience. You are that expressing now expressing. ONE, one. You are the one, you are it. Do you trust it? Because if you can't trust yourself, as RuPaul would say, how in the hell are you going to trust somebody else? What happens when people open their hearts? They get better. What happens when people open their hearts? They heal. What happens when people open their hearts? They experience true pleasure. They become alive. What happens when people open their hearts and trust? They get better. They heal. They now become alive. So once again, there's a level of acceptance that is necessary. And this acceptance requires vulnerability. And vulnerability requires trust. So if I'm going to accept myself and come out, then I have to be vulnerable, because not everybody's going to want to know. Not everybody's going to accept. But do I accept? Do I trust me that it's not about them? And it means if they say, whoa, you're part of the LGBTQTA, I don't even know how many letters are, but you're in that community? Oh yeah, I can't have anything to do with you then. Okay. I mean, I'm sorry that this is, but okay. Because I accept myself. I trust myself. I love myself. And if you're not able to meet me there, you're not even willing to possibly, then I accept your resignation letter that we are no longer family or friends. See, this acceptance thing works both ways. Breathe. Owning our story can be hard, but not nearly as difficult as spending our lives running from it. Embracing our vulnerabilities is risky, but not nearly as dangerous as giving up on love and belonging and joy. The experiences that make us the most vulnerable. Only when we are brave enough to explore the darkness, to explore the fears, will we discover the infinite power of our light, our joy, our divinity. Only when we are brave enough to explore the things that we fear. This calls for a calm and abiding trust in the principle one uses and in your ability to use it. You do not have to have faith in yourself as an isolated human being. What you have faith in is the principle. You have faith in yourself only as you know that you are using it correctly and that it will respond. You must have faith in this work, or else you will be denying its effectiveness. What does this mean? Do you have a calm and abiding trust in your ability to practice spiritual principles and manifest, change your life, heal your life, etc.? Do you have methods and, well, I know that when I journal, I am able to. I know that when I pray, I am able to. I know that do you have a system and the evidence? Do you have receipts that prove to you, not to anybody else, prove to you this works? I trust it. I trust it enough to engage in it fully. Okay, then let's do it. Faith not only lays hold of a life-affirming faith, not only lays hold of a power which actually exists, but it causes this power to respond as though it were a law of good operating for you. Are we tapping into life-affirming faith in that way? Because if we are, then there's a level of expectancy. Expectancy always speeds progress. Anticipation of that which is better yet to come helps to dissolve the load of unbelief, which we very well may now be carrying with us. We must learn to increase our consciousness. Nothing is too good to be true. God's perfection is already an ever-present reality, right here, right now. But as far as we are concerned, it waits to be perceived. And only as much good as we can come to, and only as much good can come to us as we mentally accept. How much good are you able to mentally accept? How much good do you expect in your life, in your relationships, in your finances? What does it mean to expect? Do you expect good luck or bad luck? Do you expect problems? Do you expect the other shoe to drop? Do you expect fear? Or do you expect the good, the great, the beautiful? What do you expect? Because what we expect is what we're investing in. It's where we are putting our energy. Is that where we want it? It's like investing in the stock market of creation. I'd like 1,000 shares of, oh, woe is me, and 2,000 shares of, wow. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Wow. And look at how much it returns. I didn't realize that the stock market worked this way. Wow, I started with 2,000 shares and 1,000 shares, and now I've got 50,000 on both sides. Wow, I am so abundant with shares of things that I do not want to share with anybody. I don't even want them myself. To be vulnerable is to be open. It is as simple as that. I am open to the possibilities of what? And I acknowledge that there is a possibility that at some point in my life, I will experience doubt, which we'll be talking about in May, disappointment, disillusionment, disrespect, disgust, disrepair, grief, and pain, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual. And even with the possibility of these adverse experiences and feelings, I know that I cannot experience life to the full without engaging in the risks mindfully. The responsibility, the insight, the safety, and the knowledge. These are the risks that help us to experience life to the full. How responsible are we being with our energy? How are we using our insight to discern when and where and how? To what degree are we safely and consciously, mindfully testing the waters? Because once again, it's not about just, no, there are certain people, yes, there are places to be cautious. Just because walking down this alley at 3 o'clock in the morning gets you home faster, common sense says it's not safe. So why risk being hurt or harmed? Walk the long way. Get a friend to walk with you. So there's a level of safety in navigating the world. That's common sense. Right now, at the recording of this, the United States of America, are engaged in war. If there is a war, is that area safe to go for a vacation? No. Common sense. And to what degree are we using our knowledge, as we say, SIA, study, integrate, and apply? Study is knowledge. Knowledge integrated becomes wisdom, becomes application, becomes a way of life. And for a person who becomes aware of their natural ability to sing, dance, paint, act, or comfort others, they must be vulnerable to access this ability. Someone who is truly a dancer must be vulnerable. A painter must be vulnerable. Not everybody's going to like your dancing. Not everybody's going to like your singing. Tracy doesn't like my singing, but I sing anyway. Without vulnerability, they will keep their talents hidden, just like the parable of the talents found in Matthew. In like manner, to actively embody and engage the science of mind and spirit 4.0 is to be vulnerable in order to grow, evolve, learn, and serve. Facing our fears and transcending our limitations requires us to be vulnerable, to risk seeing and being seen for who and what we are in all of our glorious, perfect messiness. This week's declaration, I will say it first, or this week's affirmation and declaration. I will say it first. If it resonates with you, I invite you to repeat it with me the second time. Today, I show up authentically, vulnerable, open to love, transformation, and power. Together. Today, I show up authentically, vulnerable, open to love, transformation, and power. And so it is. This week's journal questions, or if you attend, which I encourage you to attend, the Thursday night study group questions. Number 1, in what ways do I embrace and or avoid vulnerability? What is the reason that I think many people fear vulnerability? In what ways do I open my heart daily? Number 4, what is the intersection being vulnerable and having expectations, or my expectations? Number 5, how have I, or how do I continue to hide my talents like that one person in the parable of the talents? Which means if you're not familiar with the story, you got to go to Matthew, read the story, then you'll see what each of the people did with their talents, and you'll know what this means. Homework. Number 6, what are my talents that I am burying or hiding or denying? And then lastly, what would I need to be in order to be 100% vulnerable this week? And what's the risk and the risks that I am invited to engage in? In addition to that, you are invited, if you so choose, tell a story to someone about a time that you were vulnerable and something undesirable that happened, as well as tell a story of a time when you were vulnerable and something desirable happened. And breathe. Simply entering into that space of divine and infinite awareness. We recognize and acknowledge the superpower of conscious vulnerability. Conscious vulnerability gives us the awareness and the access to our divine grace and joy, power of creation, manifestation, attraction, beauty, awe, orgasmic bliss. Without being consciously vulnerable, none of these things are truly accessible to us. And so conscious vulnerability as a superpower also unlocks all of the other superpowers that are available to us as divine expressions of God. See, we can look at the story of Yeshua, Jesus. Had he chosen to not be vulnerable, no miracles would have been possible. But his vulnerability gave him miraculous powers, water into wine, healing people, feeding people, transforming lives, resurrecting those who are dead in consciousness so that they may be alive. I did these miracles, and even greater can you. Are we accessing the ability to do great miracles, which technically aren't miracles? They are simply ways of being the truth of who and what we are. It is not a miracle that an eagle flies. An eagle does what it does. It is not a miracle for a rainbow to form. There's a scientific principle. There is a metaphysical principle, a spiritual principle, spiritual laws. So they're not miracles. They are manifestations of our normal and natural abilities when we embody them, access them, and express them. But to do so, we must be vulnerable. And so I speak this knowing that those who are listening, those who are watching later or whenever, that this ability, this willingness to be consciously vulnerable is already taking place. The superpower is already taking place. The transformation is already taking place. The law receives and does what it does. That means this is already answered prayer. All I and all anyone needs to do is accept it as that, embody it as that, and live it. And to that I say, and so it is. Namaste, blessings, much love and appreciation as always. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your time and your presence. Thank you. Thank you for being a friend. Okay, I'm done, Tracy. I'm done. I know. Stay tuned for our closing song. In case you missed last week, we now have a closing song that you'll get the point. Stay tuned.
Today's message is complete, something to believe, a seed of truth that we can practice if we choose to receive. As we take the science of mind and spirit pour it open to every corner of the world where the healing needs to go. We know it's not a secret, can't block behind a door. It's the wisdom that we're living, and love is what we share it for. Now step into the world, be a healing, hopeful beacon. You're walking the path and offering to all who may be seeking. Know it, practice it, live it every day. That's how we heal the consciousness. We wash the ignorance away. Time to heal the world and make the vision come true. No more waiting for someone else to do what we can do. With gratitude, love, and a joy so deep. We have principles, practices, and promises we're all going to keep. Take the teaching out into the busy street, to every stranger and every soul you meet. Dedication to liberation is the key we hold. A story of freedom that's waiting to be told. Right where you are is holy ground. Feel into your rhythm and the sacred sound. You're an incarnation of the divine. You're holy, powerful, and good. And you are called to be that in the world and do what only you could. Know it, practice it, live it every day. That's how we heal the consciousness. We wash the ignorance away. Time to heal the world and make the vision come true. No more waiting for someone else to do what we can do. With gratitude, love, and a joy so deep. We have principles, practices, and promises we're all going to keep. Oh, 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 oh. that you are loved.